Hello everyone. Today's video dives into the craziest animal attacks ever caught on camera, capturing shocking unactually happened. A herd of cattle is running across the road when a speeding car suddenly crashes into them, causing a violent impact and throwing the situation into chaos. On the highway, a warthog suddenly darts out from the roadside, causing the driver to lose control and veer into the forest. Just one careless moment from the farm owner led to the pig jumping off the truck, creating a dangerous situation for vehicles traveling on the road. Place warning signs or markers at a distance from the scene to prevent chain accidents. If the pig is running wildly on the road, contact the authorities, such as traffic police or an animal rescue team, for safe capture and assistance. A growing concern has emerged in areas where monkeys avoidable collisions while passing through these regions. The monkey suddenly runs into the middle of the road and is struck by a moving vehicle, leaving the poor animal unable to survive. Elephants are herd animals and become highly sensitive when they feel threatened. Many attacks occur when people or vehicles get too close to their habitat, especially when there are calves in the group. During this period, male elephants experience a surge in hormones that makes them aggressive and more likely to attack humans, vehicles, or anything they perceive as a threat. Elephants may enter villages, residential areas, or farms in search of food, leading to confrontations with people. Many incidents happen when vehicles pass through areas where wild elephants roam. If a car gets too close or honks loudly, the elephant may perceive it as a threat and charge an attack. Dozens of goats wander across the snow-covered tracks while the sound of an approaching train grows louder. The train can't stop in time, and the collision is only a matter of moments. The cow seems so used to people avoiding it that it doesn't bother to move. However, it shouldn't keep wandering the streets of India and needs to be taken back to proper grazing areas. In India alone, each year sees around 2,000 to 3,000 train collisions involving animals, mostly livestock and wildlife. The government has implemented various measures such as fencing and warning systems. However, the issue remains extremely difficult to resolve. A herd of cattle slowly walks along the tracks, unaware that a massive train is charging toward them with unstoppable force. The distance is too short. Letting cattle roam on the roads causes serious disruptions to traffic. These cows wander freely across the roadway, sometimes darting out unexpectedly, forcing vehicles to brake hard or swerve to avoid a collision. This doesn't just cause traffic jams, but also poses a risk of accidents for both drivers and the cow. A cow suddenly bolts into the road just as a car is speeding toward it. The driver can't brake in time, and the vehicle hits the cow, sending it flying upward before it crashes back onto the pavement. It quickly gets back on its feet and runs to the other side of the road. The collision creates a sudden and dangerous scene, highlighting the serious risks when livestock unexpectedly appears on roadways. Letting livestock roam freely on the streets not only disrupts traffic but also disturbs public order. Oh man, it looks like the second bear is actually searching for the one who locked it up. That's terrifying. When you feel that first tug, that's when you should be running as fast as you can, my friend. What were you even thinking at that moment? You'll probably never forget this chase. Some prey animals seem to fall into extreme shock the moment they're attacked. They barely try to escape and simply lie still while being bitten. In a dramatic moment, the rhino suddenly charges forward, forcing the lions to stumble back in fear. It looks like they're about to start a fight. Zoo, a battle between a lion and a tiger captures the full intensity of two of the most powerful predators. With raw audio and sharp visuals, this clash keeps viewers glued to the screen with its sheer drama and ferocity. Maybe this horse was running down the road with a bit of night blindness. Maybe this moose should be a bit more careful when crossing the road. Judging by the trajectory and the speed, I'd say that deer is probably still flying through the air right now. Technically speaking, it has become a bird. In the fierce clash between wildlife and transportation, there have been train collisions that crippled the Victoria Rail network, with cancellation rates doubling to 5% since 2016. Once a train is already moving on the tracks, slowing down at such a close distance becomes nearly impossible for the operator. Never allow livestock to wander near train tracks. A herd of cattle tries to cross the tracks, ignoring the sound of an oncoming train. In an instant, the collision becomes unavoidable. The train is one of the most dangerous machines on Earth, moving at terrifying speeds and carrying a massive weight of dozens of rail cars. At a speed of 300 kilometers per hour, the train can't possibly stop in time for the flock of sheep standing near the tracks. It's incredible to witness this. The train operator braked just in time, and because of that, the elephant was protected from injury or even death. This donkey is far too indifferent to the sound of the train bell, and its fate seems already decided. It seems the cow has gotten used to everyone giving it the right-of-way, so it doesn't bother to move. Cows shouldn't be roaming the streets in India and should instead be given proper grazing spaces. Overgrazing and poor management let livestock wander onto the roads, especially at dawn and dusk, leading to collisions that are completely unavoidable. It's time to put an end to this. Keep animals within fenced areas to protect both people and nature. A typical example occurred in July 2008 on the Ashland-Kentucky line when a herd of goats suddenly ran across the tracks, leaving the train no time to brake, but fortunately no accident occurred. Grazing livestock near the tracks without any supervision or fencing is extremely dangerous for both the animals and passing vehicles. Clearly, this becomes a deadly trap if drivers don't slow down and stay alert. Shocking footage of severe collisions between cars and deer has sounded an urgent alarm about traffic safety and wildlife protection. In response, community leaders are calling for the development of wildlife-friendly routes, overpasses, tunnels, specialized fencing systems, and increased patrols. On the highway, an 880-pound cow crosses the road, and the driver, unable to control their speed, crashes into it, sending the cow slamming painfully onto the windshield. The camera captured the chaotic scene as several cows slid out of the trailer and fell onto the ground. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured, but the incident shocked many people around the world. The goat is immediately struck by the train, causing it to lose balance and fall into the river. In just one moment of losing control, a deer darts across the road, and the outcome couldn't be worse. Beneath the river's surface, a shocking scene unfolds as a male deer heartlessly pushes a fawn back into the jaws of a crocodile just moments after it had escaped. In a desperate fight for life, the young deer struggles to climb onto the riverbank, but the male suddenly shoves it with force, sending it tumbling back into the water. Seconds later, the crocodile surges forward and clamps down on the helpless victim, exposing the cold and ruthless brutality of the wild. Brutal encounter unfolds between a polar bear and a walrus. The polar bear approaches silently, using the slick ice to move in close, while the massive walrus relies on its sharp tusks and towering body to defend itself. Amid the freezing breaths and crashing waves, the confrontation becomes a stark reminder of the harsh struggle for survival of the polar world. Deep in the dense forest, a rare moment unfolds as an endangered tiger comes face to face with a wild boar in a tense encounter. The tiger stalks silently from the shadows, while the boar moves cautiously along the riverbank in search of food. When the attack erupts, the entire forest seems to tremble with the sheer power and ferocity of these two rugged survivors. The tiger lunges forward and clamps down on the wild boar, leaving its prey with no chance to fight back. By the riverbank, a breathtaking scene unfolds as a jackal attacks and takes down a stork in a dramatic showdown. The jackal charges in with terrifying speed and determination. The stork struggles desperately to fight back. The clash is brief but fiercely intense, revealing the harsh reality of survival in the wild. Dozens of goats wander freely across the snow-covered tracks, but in the distance, the sound of a train horn echoes, growing louder and closer. Loss and destruction, all of it ultimately stemmed from human carelessness.
Okay, let's go.
It's time for stricter and more serious management. They must also focus on educating and reminding people to never let pets or livestock roam near train tracks. The moose's sudden, ill-timed stop caused it to be struck and launched into the air instantly. And luck clearly wasn't on its side today. The bull's sudden rush sent the driver into a panic, and though the impact threw him from the vehicle, it was fortunate that tragedy didn't strike. In Spain, people see the act of running in front of a herd of bulls as a way to show courage and test their own limits. It's also a time for the community to gather, hold religious rituals, and welcome tourists, bringing economic benefits. However, the festival continues to spark debate over safety concerns and animal rights. Horses, even after thousands of years alongside humans, can still become extremely dangerous when provoked. Their instability is sometimes underestimated until an accident finally happens. What makes horses dangerous isn't their aggressive nature. It's their extreme sensitivity. With extremely powerful muscles, a horse that loses control can cause consequences just as severe as large wild animals. The wild bull went berserk and charged in to attack. It's as if it's begging to be fed. Feeding elephants may seem harmless at first, but it can turn dangerous at any moment when their wild instincts kick in. Always keep a safe distance and respect their space. just one careless moment is enough to cause an accident. A split-second scene was captured in Kodaikanal. While foraging along the road, a bison suddenly flew into a rage and charged at nearby people. The attack left 2 people injured. One careless moment, one step too far, and you could come face to face with primal power that nothing can stop. Meanwhile, in areas near the forest, the presence of bears has become a constant concern. When food becomes scarce, they leave the forest, wander into people's backyards, raid trash bins, or attack livestock. In one case caught on camera inside a convenience store, a bear charged straight in searching for food. Luckily, the shop owner remained safe. In many cases, bears become aggressive when they are discovered. This directly puts local people in danger. Horses have long been seen as animals closely bonded with humans. They are strong, intelligent, and loyal. But behind that free-spirited beauty lies an unpredictable power. The horse yanked the reins and sent the rider flying. It suddenly went berserk in the stable and lashed out, kicking its owner. Why were they so careless and didn't run back into the car before the tiger attacked? Perhaps driven by hunger, the elephant sneaked into a residential house in search of food. Zoo visitors likely never saw this coming, and it's almost impossible to escape the grip of an orangutan. In your opinion, was this man's action brave or just plain foolish? The price you pay for taking a joke too far. Humans should provide elephants with proper shelter and enough food instead of teasing them and provoking their anger. Hey, calm down, I just wanted to ask for directions. The elephant is actually helping them out because this might be the first time in their lives these gentlemen have ever done any real cardio by running. Perhaps the little lion was simply too excited to be reunited with its owner. It is extremely dangerous when a lion enclosure is not properly secured, leaving everyone around in a state of panic. Oh man, I was just kidding around. The man was incredibly smart to pretend to lie still in order to distract the gaur. In Spain, running in front of a herd of bulls is seen as a way to prove courage and the spirit of taking on challenges. However, the festival remains highly controversial due to ongoing concerns over safety and animal welfare. Allowing livestock to wander on the roads without supervision causes serious consequences for the community. Therefore, everyone must raise their sense of responsibility and never allow livestock to roam freely on the roads to ensure public order and overall safety. At a speed of 150 kilometers per hour, this deer likely had no chance of surviving the impact. With a massive body like a grizzly bear, smashing through a fence is simply effortless. Along the riverbank, a brutal battle erupted as the flock fought desperately to defend their nest, while a troop of baboons launched relentless attacks, turning the helpless chicks into what looked like scrambled eggs. The captured moment laid bare the cruelty of nature, where strength and survival instinct always decide the winner. Too fast, too dangerous. Oh no. The crocodile suddenly burst out of the water and attacked the buffalo as it was drinking. The lightning-fast strike made the moment absolutely heart-stopping, laying bare the brutal cruelty of the wild. The problem was that she didn't respect the elephant. You can tell from its trunk that it was only trying to grab the banana, but she kept pulling it away. A dramatic scene unfolded when a massive elephant appeared to protect a buffalo from a pride of lions. At the edge of the forest, the herd of buffalo rose up to show the lions who the real boss is. Their collective strength and sheer determination forced the predators to back down, perfectly showcasing survival instinct and dominance in the wild. This hippo was so enraged that the pride of lions was terrified and dared not come any closer. She panicked after the sudden shove from the horse. The poor horse was caught completely off guard when the dog suddenly charged in, bit it, and leapt onto its back without warning. Run right now. Under the scorching sun of the savannah, a tense scene unfolded as a herd of wild buffalo worked together to knock down an entire tree in an attempt to rescue a lion cub trapped above. The moment they closed in around the young lion revealed both the terrifying power of the buffalo and the brutal reality of survival in the wild. Luckily, the locals spotted the danger just in time and rushed in to rescue the cow moments before the train came barreling through. Two elephants wandering along the road suddenly turned into a residential area to beg for food, creating a scene that was both unexpected and incredibly adorable. The locals were absolutely delighted by their gentle and friendly behavior, seeing it as a rare and charming moment in the midst of everyday life. That moment nearly made my heart stop from how intense it was, and thankfully the cow made it out safely in the end. Right by the roadside, a warthog was busy foraging for food, completely unaware that a lion was silently closing in from behind. In a single instant, the predator lunged and seized its prey, leaving no chance for escape. On the wild riverbank, the warthog had just caught sight of a lion lurking in the brush when it spun around and fled in panic. In a split-second fight for survival, it suddenly launched itself straight into a natural water pit in a desperate bid to escape. The entire encounter unfolded in a flash, yet brimmed with tension, highlighting the warthog's powerful survival instincts and lightning-fast reflexes when faced with a stalking predator. Judging by that trajectory and speed, I'm convinced the deer is probably still floating in the air by now. Technically speaking, it has officially leveled up into a bird. Cows suddenly rush into the streets, dairy cows go berserk from being provoked, sheep become unusually aggressive, and even wild bulls are now showing up right in the middle of residential areas. As a result, dangerous attacks are increasing day by day, like a warning we can no longer ignore. What is causing these seemingly gentle animals to suddenly turn aggressive? And why are predators like tigers appearing more often near residential areas? In many rural areas, the combination of shrinking habitats and excessive human encroachment has left animals more stressed than ever. All it takes is a loud noise or a small provocation, and they can charge with enough force to knock a grown adult flying. Meanwhile, in areas near the forest, the presence of bison has become a constant nightmare. Many families live in fear every time night falls, because a single moment of carelessness can lead to disaster. A dairy cow jumped off the truck right in front of the stunned farm owner. A kangaroo attacked a tourist even though a trainer was right there trying to stop it. This safety net is painfully fragile, and it feels like a single burst of a tiger's rage could tear it apart in an instant. The clash erupts in an instant as the leopard unleashes its full strength to pin down its opponent. Meanwhile, the zebra thrashes wildly, delivering powerful kicks in a desperate bid to break free. A pack of wild dogs suddenly charges down to the river's edge when they spot one of their own being dragged into the water by a crocodile's crushing jaws. In that chaotic moment, the remaining hurl themselves forward, biting and pulling in a desperate attempt to free their packmate from the killer grip. Beneath the muddy river, where strange ripples hide lurking danger, the lion cubs tremble as they step into the dark water, home to countless fierce crocodiles. Every stroke they take is filled with peril, while on the bank their mother watches in tense silence, ready to dive in at the slightest sign of trouble. Amid the swirling currents, these tiny lions must face a life-or-death trial on their own, creating a moment as breathless as it is emotional. In the quiet stretches of the Sahara, a mother gazelle and her young calf walk leisurely, completely unaware of the danger lurking just ahead. In this strangely silent landscape, every step they take seems to touch the stillness of the desert. But behind a sand dune, a predator lies in wait, watching for the perfect moment of vulnerability. A cheetah suddenly bursts forward, snatches the young gazelle, and carries it up into a tree. On the peaceful grasslands, a male lion strolls in to court a lioness, each step filled with the confidence and presence of a true ruler. But just as the moment turns romantic, a massive buffalo suddenly appears out of nowhere, shattering the calm. It rumbles straight toward the pair, forcing the male lion to tense up instantly, shifting from charming to fully alert. This sudden twist turns the grassland into a stage of surprise and chaos. Beneath the rushing river, a cruel twist of fate unfolds as a wildebeest escapes a small crocodile only to swim straight into the jaws of a giant one. Just after breaking free from the weak initial bite, it surges forward in a desperate dash for survival. But right ahead, a lurking monster hidden in the murky water is already waiting, clamping down on the unlucky prey, and turning its escape attempt into tragedy within seconds. In many rural and suburban areas, shrinking habitats and human pressure are making animals more stressed than ever. Moose are usually calm, but they can now react violently if you get too close. All it takes is a loud noise or a move that makes them feel threatened. They can charge with enough force to send a grown adult flying. The bison, the majestic symbol of the North American plains, is often admired with deep respect for its massive size and calm appearance. However, behind that slow-moving appearance lies one of the most dangerous animals humans can face in the wild. A bison attacked a tourist in the park. The scene unfolds fast and with overwhelming force, revealing the terrifying power of this wild animal and the hidden danger when humans get too close. The overwhelming force of the herd turns the confrontation into revealing the cruelty and harsh reality of the wild. Run right now. A stray cow suddenly attacks a 70-year-old woman and her grandson in Majestic. The entire incident is captured on security camera, showing the cow charging in without warning in a frighteningly dangerous moment that leaves witnesses in total panic. The bison walks up to a crooked fence and uses a few powerful headbutts to fix it, making the fence straighter than before. The unexpected repair job by the bison leaves viewers laughing in surprise. At Yellowstone National Park, a bison suddenly charges straight into a car that is stopped on the road. The powerful impact shocks everyone who sees it, clearly showing the terrifying strength of an agitated bison. The bison suddenly charges forward and slams hard into a car that is stopped on the road. This moment clearly shows the raw power of bison and the danger of getting too close to wild animals. At the zoo, a reckless woman climbs over the fence into the tiger enclosure just to retrieve her hat. This dangerous act leaves everyone around her in shock because a single small mistake could lead to unimaginable consequences. A cow gets stuck between the tracks as the train slows down, panicking and struggling in despair. Installing safety fences and preventing livestock from wandering onto the roads are absolutely essential to minimizing unwanted accidents along railway lines. A cow is crossing the tracks when a fast-moving train rushes in, unable to slow down or stop in time. Maybe when the dog finally woke up, the train's speed made it impossible for it to escape in time. Caught off guard and panicking, the cow tries to run but can't get off the tracks in time. Maybe it used every bit of its strength to escape the train's impact. Cows may be common in rural areas, but that doesn't make them any less dangerous. Many regions still allow free grazing, letting cattle wander onto the road at any moment. Their massive weight makes collisions with livestock, especially at night or around blind curves, extremely dangerous. Even as the train's horn echoes across the countryside, the young donkey still stands there, unaware of what's coming. Just a simple safety fence could have saved it. This situation reflects a lack of responsibility in livestock management and needs to be strictly controlled to ensure safety and public order. cow runs along the highway, forcing vehicles to stay cautious, but suddenly it changes direction and bolts across the road. The car driver has no time to react, and the vehicle crashes hard into the cow, creating a sudden and dangerous impact. Oh no, maybe this little sheep is just trying to find its way back home. Hurry up and give us some food. Oh my goodness. The ending was heartbreakingly bitter because of this guy's prank. In Albania, a male sheep suddenly lost its temper and charged straight at a female shepherd tending the flock. It rammed her repeatedly, forcing her to struggle just to keep her balance. During this period, male elephants experience a surge in hormones that makes them extremely aggressive. If they feel even slightly threatened, they may attack humans, vehicles, or anything that comes into their sight. Elephants sometimes wander into villages, residential areas, or farms in search of food. This can accidentally lead to dangerous encounters with humans. Many incidents happen when vehicles pass through areas where wild elephants live. If a vehicle gets too close or blasts the horn too loudly, the elephant may see it as a threat and immediately charge to attack. For example, Grandma Anna was seriously injured after a cow attack. However, just like in many places around the world, not every family receives the full amount of support they truly need. They can become extremely dangerous, whether it's a dairy cow, a small sheep, or a massive bull. Sheep may look gentle, but sometimes they turn into surprise attackers. Many cases have been recorded where sheep charged at pedestrians, knocking them down and causing serious injuries. Their aggression is often underestimated until an accident finally happens. As we wrap up craziest animal attacks ever caught on camera, which moment shocked you the most? Do you want to see more wild encounters like this? Share your thoughts before we end the video.